Welcome to Cooking with Literature. Today, we'll be cooking a pumpkin pie in honor of the 100th anniversary of the publishing of the story A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. I have with me today my two associate chefs, Eliana Friedman and Nava Schumann.
Throughout this edition, we'll be talking about how this pumpkin pie relates to A Tree Grows in Brooklyn.
And the significance of it.
Get started, I'd just like to give a shout out to our videographer, Malga. Thank you so much.
We could not have done it without you.
You're #1. Okay.
So first off, we're going to be taking our dry ingredients and putting it in this bowl. We are going to be taking a half a teaspoon of salt. We will be taking a 1/4 of cinnamon. We will be taking 1 teaspoon of ground cloves and a 1/4 of ginger. And we'll be mixing that up. What context is the pie mentioned in A Tree Grows in Brooklyn?
So it is Thanksgiving time in the Tree Grows in Brooklyn, and in Francie's school, her teacher is giving out a little pumpkin pie. And a lot of the children, most of the children in her school are poverty-stricken, and at the same time, and they're too proud to raise their hand and say, "Me, I want the pie," because that means that they need the charity and they need the food. And Francie also has this internal struggle, but she manages to overcome it and raise her hand and say, "I want the pie." But instead of telling the truth, she creates this elaborate story about this poor family, that the children are dying and they need the food, and that's the way that she's able to kind of like make it okay that she's raising her hand and saying that she needs the pie.
Definitely agree with that.
Very nice. Now can we mix the wet ingredients into this lovely mixture?
Yeah, that is our next step. We're going to be combining the wet ingredients, which are, we have 2 eggs and 1 cup of pumpkin filling. So we're going to be putting that in this bowl. We have our 2 eggs.
We'll be taking the fork.
Oh yes, and we'll be beating the eggs prior to putting in the pumpkin pie. That is a very important detail.
Make sure to do
that
it
I almost forgot to mention, so thank you. That was very helpful.
like this. It has to be fully.
Right.
Make sure that
Yeah,
it's like
that's enough.
it's
Anyway,
fluffy.
so we're going to be taking our filling component, and we're going to just
dump it. in.
dumping that
Dump
right
it
in there.
in.
Dumping that
All
right
of
in
it.
there.
Don't leave
I
anything.
wish the camera could see this mixture now. It is such a beautiful hue of orange. I really it's making me feel joyful.
You left a little bit.
So while we're mixing this, let's talk a little bit about what the significance of the pumpkin pie had in the story and what.
Like, why was it mentioned at all?
Exactly, and what idea it kind of brought out.
Well, when Francie was confronted by the teacher about her elaborate story,
What did she do? What did she say? Like, how did she feel when she was finally being confronted?
well, she started to feel bad about lying, and she ended up confessing that she lied and she ate the pie herself.
Mm-hmm.
And what did the teacher tell her? Like, did the teacher like what did she learn from this?
The teacher didn't actually reprimand her. She said that she's not going to punish her for using her imagination. Rather, she said that whenever she thinks that a situation should have happened in a certain way and therefore she exaggerates about it, so that she should tell the truth and write down the story the way you think that it should have happened. And it's a very helpful thing to Francie, because then she's finally able to differentiate these 2 things that she's always struggled with, which is her compelled nature to
Elaborate on stories.
Yeah, to elaborate on stories.
So do you think this was like an important part
This is
of the
a
book?
very big, yeah.
I
for
actually
sure.
think that this is the moment where Francie decides that she wants to become a writer, because she acknowledges that she has this special imagination that not everyone has, and she realizes that she can use it for the good. And
she also realizes that
very
it's
true.
she's not ashamed of her truth, and like she can, when you're able to express your truth, like your writing can be so much more true and.
Exactly. So now that we have that little
It
background,
looks like the batter is just about perfect.
exactly. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be combining the wet ingredients with the dry ingredients. So you just tap that all in there.
You're gonna have to remix
And
it.
you're going to mix them in.
Just got that on my shirt. It's fine.
That's part of the cooking.
Cooking is messy. Cooking is a process.
Cooking is
just like life is a process, and you learn
Things
and
go
grow.
wrong,
Just like
but you
Francie.
get over the bumps.
And
you
not
succeed.
only
Just
that,
like Francie
not
did
only
throughout
that-
the Tree Goes in Brooklyn.
not only that, sometimes you even the process creates a beautiful thing like a pumpkin pie.
And we are lucky enough that if a little bit spills out, it's okay. But Francie, she didn't have that much extra money, and if she were to be baking it, she would not be able to lose all that things that we lost here.
Exactly.
So we are very
so
lucky.
the dry component and the wet component are a little bit hesitant to mix with each other, and so you just gotta vigorously just mix
Mix
them
for
in.
about
sure.
like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, now that we have
Now
that
that we
down,
have
this is the most exciting part. We're gonna come a little bit closer to the camera now, and we have here. Who would like to describe what we have here?
We have a very nice pie, perfectly flattened out, which we had made previously. The
A link for that recipe and that video is
will be-
actually down below, so go check us out
see, perfect.
on episode 4 of Cooking with Literature.
So then we're going to be taking this mix, this lovely dish, and putting it into here.
Alright, so you're just gonna take your spatula and you're just going to just get that right up in there. Yeah. Why don't you come around here? Thanks. And just really scrape those sides and get it all in there. Yeah, it makes lovely noises when it flops in. And
And then you're going to spread this. Spread it out.
Spread it out.
we have
Spread
a
it
song.
on butter.
We actually have a song we like to sing here when we're
Molly
spreading, and it goes.
Molly
Right.
Malone.
We love to joke, you know. We just
That's just a joke having
like
to
to have a
do
warm
with.
environment.
Okay, that's enough.
Okay.
I think it is time to be put into the oven.
So we're gonna take.
Now that we have our pie, we're going to be putting it in our previously preheated oven.
At 375 degrees, and we're going to keep it in there for
25
I would
minutes.
say 25 minutes. Open it, check it out, see if
Take a
it's,
little
if
toothpick.
it's cooked,
Yeah.
and if it's not, leave it in there for a little more. And when it's golden and beautiful, you take it out and your pumpkin
Top
pie
it with
is
some
ready.
whipped cream, cut it, and it's ready to serve.
So it's been about 40 minutes, and now we're going to take it out. Ooh, looks delicious. And we're going to put on the counter to cool down, and I highly recommend pairing it with some homemade whipped cream, and I personally just like to put a dollop on top of it and eat it while it's still warm.
Although pumpkin pie is traditionally eaten around Thanksgiving time and the holidays, it is a wonderful dessert for every single day or for when you're having guests, and it's tasty and it looks nice, and really everyone enjoys it.
If you really want to get in the spirit of things, I highly recommend finding your local tree and curling up with a good book and having some of this tasty homemade pie.